Hey monkeys, we're back. We're gonna be working on a guitar today. Uh-huh. Oh yeah, I need to send a link to the customer. Let me do a copy and paste. So you're watching Guitar Quackery live on YouTube, which means this is a live stream. I got some news to share as well. So news, yeah, potential news. Well, it is news, but I can't tell you everything just yet because it's kind of silly to talk about things that, you know, might or might not happen. Look at that. Dr. Aficionado's here already. Doctor. Well, I'll tell you something. Well, I can't because it's a public live stream. Anyway, thank you for coming. I want to send a message, a text to this customer. So I think I know his name, but I'll double check. I don't want to send it to the wrong person. Yes, I had it. I had it right in my head. So let's okay, Nick is his name. And here, why did I send him a picture before? Whatever. Paste, copy and paste. Look at that. Okay. So, friends, I have some potential good news, okay? It's happening. I mean, something is really happening. Dr. Styrene Builds is here. He says, hey. And then Dr. Sean Barnes is here. He says, hey, too. Okay, so doctor. Yeah, so I kind of mentioned something on a live stream a few days ago. I met with someone significant in the music industry, not a celebrity, okay? So now no one like, it's a person that can walk on the streets without people asking for autographs, okay? But it's still someone who is significant in the, you know, music business. And I kind of pitched, not kind of, I did pitch a proposal. And I believe that I'm getting through to this person. So he was interested. It's a he. He was interested. And he connected me with someone within his orbit to get this going. So that's what I can tell you without telling you too much. One reason why I can't tell you too much is because it is a concept that I kind of want to discuss still under, you know, not publicly with this person and the people in his orbit. So, but trust me, if this happens, you will know about it, okay? It's something very exciting, something that I've been developing since before COVID. I had to put it on hold during COVID, although I was ready to launch the whole thing. But it's something exciting about guitars. And I'll give you a hint, a little bit of a hint. So when you see me here, you see me in my capacity as a guitar repair technician. But that's, you know, not about repair. I was a builder before I was a repair technician. Okay. So I put some things together. Well, guitars, but it's not just guitars. It's something more than just guitars. Okay. And this person is in a position to not only make things happen, but also to benefit from it. And my idea is such that anyone involved would benefit from it. Okay, so I think it's a really good concept. Now, I think my idea is good, right? It's more than just an idea. I've been developing it for years, so it's really developed already. Okay, so that person can definitely. I don't want to say make things happen, because that makes it sound more like it's about me. It really isn't about me. It's something that will benefit the community, but there needs to be more people involved to make this really happen. All right, and I'm really super excited. So where is it at? I am going to have a Zoom meeting with two of those people on Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern. And I'll be on a Zoom call. And the response that I got was really positive. So wish me luck, because if things start moving in this direction, there will be things to talk about and to show. And I would want all of you to be part of the further development of this as much as possible, right? So that's that. The other thing is that the other news is that I received an email from someone whom I was hoping to hear back from. Okay, and that's again all I want to say for now, because I think there will be a positive development with that person, and that person might be connected to the first piece of news I was talking about. So once again, I just don't like to talk about details too much, especially when it involves other people, because if things don't happen for whatever reason, right, you just never know, then it's kind of silly, right? But I feel that there's a good chance that there will be some exciting developments involving all these people, and it'll also be featured on this channel and on the main Guitar Quackery channel, and also on Guitar Quackery Instagram. Okay, so you know, let's be positive, and let's hope things happen. Okay. Now, what do we have here on the bench? We have this Schecter guitar. And I made a quick thumbnail, and I said, don't even ask me what I'll be doing to this guitar, because I don't even know. I can't remember. I know we'll be working on the nut. I think so, right? I think that's what it's in for. So let me just check the work order. Bear with me, please. A reslotting, yeah. Premium setup. D'Addario. 10 to 46 XS strings. Oh, sorry. Oh, and I got this guitar here as well. Oh, my back is hurting me. So this is a Gibson Les Paul. I need to work on this guitar as well. I am kind of buried in guitars, and I showed you this guitar. This will be also featured on a live stream because of the way I work on vintage guitars. Right, I charge by the hour, so I need to do a live stream. So D'Addario 10-46. And by the way, I reached out to D'Addario. I did hear back, but we need to keep talking. I really I've always liked their strings, and I need to get some sponsors for the channels. And, I just said, maybe you guys can sponsor, let's work together. So let's see what they say. Okay. All right, friends, let's get the files out and let's get to work. My back is killing me, lower back. I'm falling apart, It's a sign of old age. So the Sure Thing Express. Am I pronouncing it correctly? He says, hello, doctor and friends. And then Dr. Bob Perron says, hello, doctor. Well, hello to you, doctor. Dr. Aficionado deleted a message. And Dr. Styrene Bill says, D'Addario for me. Yeah, for me too. So, I think Ernie Ball strings are also good. But I always felt D'Addario were better. And then Dr. Aficionado says, the thumbnail says, I don't even know what I'll be doing. That's exactly what it says, because I don't know. Yeah. I took the guitar in a week ago, more than a week ago, and I forgot what I was going to do, but I just checked. We're going to work on the nut, and then we'll do a setup. Sorry, I need to pick this up. My back. All right. Here we go again. Nothing you haven't seen me do in the past. Yeah, so man, I'm kind of tempted to tell you a little more about everything, but I've talked before, and then things didn't happen as planned. And it's not like I believe that it's going to jinx it. I'm not superstitious. It's just that if things don't happen, then it's kind of silly. But something will happen. If not this, then something else. I had a migraine the other day. All right. Let's see. Are these coated strings already? Yeah, look at that. I think these are the D'Addario XS coated strings. Let's see here. They could be, or they could be, you can see the coating, the wraparound coating, or they could be Elixir, what are called NanoWeb and OptiWeb. We'll know in a minute. They're Elixirs. How do I know? I'm looking at the ball ends of the strings. So let's talk about that. Because many people don't know. And I'll show you. So these are Elixir strings. I just keep a pack here just, you know, to show, to explain things. So, polyweb, the first coating technology, you really shouldn't use these at all, okay? But then you have the Dario XS, right? So, Elixir strings are coated strings. It says here, polyweb coating. But when you look inside, you will see that the first 3 strings, which are 10, 13, and 17, don't mention coating at all. Anti-rust plain steel. This is nickel-plated steel, and this says polyweb coating. So, out of 6 strings, only 3 are coated. These 3. Okay? And it says right there, this is kind of like the fine print, and no mention of coating on these 3 strings. You can see that. So, that's one thing that people are not aware of. When you buy a pack of Elixir strings, only the wound strings are coated, not the plain strings. But Dario XS strings, or even Dario XT, that's the black package, has all 6 strings coated. Why isn't this in focus? What's wrong with my camera? Okay. So all 6 strings are coated in a Dario XS or Dario XT set. So they use a liquid coating for the plain strings in this pack, and they use the wrapping similar to Elixir, not polyweb, but OptiWeb and NanoWeb. Okay, similar but different for the wound strings. So in a XS, these are coated with a wrapper, and these 3 are coated with a liquid coating. In a pack of the Dario XT, the black pack, all 6 strings are coated with a liquid coating. All 6. And like I said, in a pack of Elixir strings, only the wound strings are coated. So if you buy a pack of electric strings where 3 strings are plain and 3 strings are wound, only the 3 wound strings are coated. If you buy a pack of Elixir acoustic guitar strings, then 4 wound strings are coated, and 2 plain strings are not coated. That's something to remember, to be aware of. Now, I'm not saying Elixir strings are bad. I'm just saying this is how it is. So I was not aware of that, but someone who is in the string manufacturing business told me about that. And then I checked all the packaging, and in fact, that's what it says on the packages, on the individual packages, right? As you could see. Makes sense. Let's see. We have a little gap here. We can improve that. Let me just measure all of them. Yeah, so they're just a little too high. Nothing major, kind of like this one is almost okay. So I'll just do this. I will just hit it with a file a little bit. Now, this is a pretty well shaped already. So as you can see, we have a shiny witness line, witness point from the string with some metal deposits. Kind of tapers off to here and nothing here. That's great. So all we want to do is just lower this thing a little bit. Not by much. Okay, we put the string back and take another measurement. I'm eyeballing it. It's still too high. So I always explain this during my nut repair live streams. You start with a file almost parallel to the surface of the fingerboard, and then as you move it in this direction, it tilts automatically, right? Because it kind of pivots around your fingertip. The fingertip is going to slide on top of the string here, adjacent string, and the file is just going to go like that because you're pushing it down a little bit. But don't push too hard, right? Because you don't want to cut too deep. Oh, and friends, I uploaded a video, a very interesting video on the main channel. It's about the 9.5-inch radius fretboard spec on a Fender guitar. And it's interesting. So it's about the fact that when you buy a Fender guitar, you don't really know that it's going to have the radius on spec, 9.5-inch, if it's a 9.5-inch spec. And that's because they often over-radius the frets. And the guitar that I had on the bench was a US-made Fender, not Mexican. Now, to be fair, and I forgot to mention that in the video, I looked at some Player 2 guitars, brand new ones at a store, local store here, and I had the opportunity to take some measurements. I looked at least 6 or 7 guitars, Fender Player 2 Strats and Tellys, brand new. They were all on spec. So I think that Fender fixed that. So yeah, to be fair. So I want to review some Player 2 guitars. I haven't had a chance to do a review yet. But, you know, just to be fair, because as you know, Guitar Quackery is a consumer advocate channel. So I will tell you areas of concern. So an area of concern is when something isn't on spec, such as the radius of the frets. So, you know, that's not supposed to be off spec, right? But I will also tell you good news. So, and I forgot to mention that in the video that I uploaded. Now, you won't be able to see the video yet because I uploaded it in pre-release format. I want to start doing that on the main channel. And that's honestly, it's just because I need to I need to start getting some, well, I am getting some money back, but it's costly to run a YouTube channel, okay? Especially at this level, because I spend a lot of time editing and reshooting and organizing my footage and all. So what I want to do is I want to start uploading more and more in a pre-release format. and I want to keep some videos in pre-release format for a long period, such as 6 months to a year. Not all of them. So let's say if I post a review video, I would keep it in pre-release format for maybe up to 3 days, maybe, so that members can watch the early release, and then later it would be available to anyone, right? So for review videos, I guess up to 3 days wait time before it becomes public. But for, repair service videos and, informative videos, I would want to keep them in pre-release format for at least 6 months, maybe up to a year. I think that would make sense because this way supporting members would get, fair value for supporting the channel. And I kind of need that support to keep going like this at this level. Yeah, because everything is costly these days. And I would also want to post exclusive content videos on the main channel. Now, what I'm thinking is that even exclusive content wouldn't really have any information that isn't available. So I see a mosquito. Where's my zapper here? Gotta get it ready. Wouldn't have any information that isn't available on this channel, but it would be edited so that it would be easier to watch through. And editing takes a long time. So I kind of got to get paid for that. Makes sense? I hope so. So that's just YouTube strategy. And lately, I've been saying that Guitar Quackery as the repair shop. First of all, I call it the smallest guitar repair shop in New York City, which I believe it is. But I used to say that it's a repair shop with a YouTube studio. And now lately I've been saying, for the past week, I've been saying, well, that changed. So now I think that Guitar Quackery, as in the physical space, is actually a YouTube studio with a repair shop. So that makes it more unique, and I kind of like that. Because, that's what it's becoming, I think, or maybe already became. It's still a little too high. I've reduced the workload. Well, I've already been reducing the workload in the past 2 years, I think, because I don't want to be doing small jobs. I just want to do full service jobs only, and interesting jobs. I think we're kind of good now. So let me see. Sometimes I'm having a hard time turning this around. So you see, this is like 50 microns height. That's what we want. Okay, so now it's time to move on to this string. And here, we look at the string slot. So now what do we see here? Well, we definitely see a witness point at the front. I'm not really sure what this is at the back end. I think this could just be a file mark, to be honest with you. I don't think that's the witness point from the file. But I am still going to hit it with the file, just in case. It just needs to go a little lower. So what do we do here? You know, I kind of feel like it would be good. So this is already graphite, and here I have a graphite pencil, but I think we'll still be able to see a line. Makes it shiny like this. Focus, focus. Let's see when I hit the back what it is that yeah, so that was a low point. You see that? So it took a while to start removing the shiny pencil mark. Okay, and now I just want to do this again. So yeah, friends, tell me what you think. Let me read your comments a little bit. So, guitar quackery, the YouTube studio with a guitar repair shop, something like that. Okay, maybe I'll ask Chat GPT to come up with a title. Well, Dr. Aficionado says, I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious. And Styrene Build says, well, I'm out. Best of luck. Okay, so you had to leave, no problem. Dr. Jeffrey Boyle is here. And that's it. All right, so they are just saying hello to each other. So, yeah, if you guys can come up with maybe a catchphrase, a slogan for this physical space being a YouTube studio with a guitar repair shop, the shorter the better. I don't know how to shorten it anymore, but if you come up with something, just let me know. So the Schecter nut is like a PRS nut, okay? Kind of like the positions of the tuning posts is kind of like on the PRS. And it's got this wide nut with long string slots, all right? So I file it in a slightly different way than I would file a Gibson nut or a Fender nut. Speaking of PRS, this looks good. Yeah, speaking of PRS, I'm kind of annoyed with PRS, I gotta tell you, because I have a customer who, I'll read you her text message. Oh, very, very cool. Okay, so this is the owner of this guitar says very, very cool. Okay, so welcome to the channel. Yeah, and I'm still seeing the relevant text message that I got from that person. That okay, great. So there will be some news in, I hope, in September. Okay. What date is today? The 16th. Okay, so in half a month. We just got to be patient. Let's be patient. Well, what? Okay, here. So I can even show you all the text messages. So it was a PRS SE guitar, okay? So the customer's position is that they still put their name on the headstock, and they do, PRS. And she, well, we discovered something that really doesn't work well. So she brought the guitar in for hopefully a setup. But what I keep saying is you can't do a setup if there's an issue with the guitar. So a setup is just an alignment, right? But if there's something broken or something defective, no amount of alignments is going to fix it. So there was something defective. It's a manufacturing defect with a PRS SE Silver Sky guitar, specifically with the vibrato system or so-called tremolo system. It was getting stuck because of the way the cavity was routed. And I made a video for her to send to PRS, and I said, you know, just ask them to send you a new body and then we'll work something out. Now, I still had to charge her for my service, and which was just a setup, right? But a setup as good as the guitar would allow, given the fact that it had a defect. And they were just going back and forth. And now I'll let you read the message so that you can kind of see the tone of the message. It kind of almost says that she's mad at me. So just wondering, that's me, just wondering if you ever resolve the issue with PRS. So I sent her a message on this date, March 7th, which she didn't reply to. And on Thursday, so this is now August, okay? And then she replies, no, I didn't. So they asked her to pack up the guitar. So it says it was too much to pack up that guitar. I already spent $200 plus with you for a $600 guitar. Will not buy another PRS. They should have participating techs, but instead they want you to shop it back. I guess ship it back at your cost. And then I replied, this is really frustrating. And then I'm offering to just get it done for her. Okay. So when she says, I already spent $200 plus with you for a $600 guitar, I don't know, you tell me. That sounds like she's pissed at me. For what? I didn't make the guitar. But I'm not going to work for free on a guitar just because it has a manufacturing defect. So PRS is costing me a customer relationship, as you can see. And I already spent time, because this isn't the first message. This is like a string of messages. And she also sent me like a screenshot of their email and all that, and da-da-da. Look at all these messages, okay? This is just about the thing that was wrong with the guitar. So, yeah, I mean, they're costing me. Oh, I got a phone call. Hold on, let's see who called. someone called, did not leave a message. So let me just copy and paste my copy and paste my usual message that says that they can text me back. So this is what my message says. Hello, it appears that you called the Guitar Quackery helpline. I'm either on the phone or working on a guitar. To get a reply, please text back to this number with the following information. Full name, make and model of the guitar, brief reason for your call. Please note that because of an overwhelming demand for services, I will only be able to reply to callers who provide all the information as requested. Thank you very much. That's my standard thing. Yeah, so I am working on a guitar just like the message says. Yeah, so where was I? So, yeah, so PRS, you know, people, so, all right, so PRS and PRS SE are not the same company, right? But PRS still owns PRS SE, and just like she says in an earlier message from a few months ago, they still put their name on the headstock. And, you know, they are responsible for what PRS SE is doing. And what I don't like is the fact that a lot of people think that PRS guitars are somehow perfect. And I tell you, they are not perfect. No. They are consistent in quality, and they are by far more consistent compared to Fender, Gibson, Martin, right? But perfect, not at all. So I've had issues with PRS guitars, not even PRS SC, but PRS, you know, the $5,000 guitars. I've had issues with them. Yeah, so, and now I'm having an issue that their, you know, customer service is costing me my own customer relationship with that customer. And, you know, I don't appreciate that. So I feel that I can say whatever I want about them. First of all, it's true. I have it documented. And yeah, so they should take care of their own customers. Because her saying, I already spent $200 plus with you for a $600 guitar, well, that kind of like says that she's pissed at me for whatever reason. She shouldn't be, because, like I said, I didn't make the guitar. But I couldn't set it up properly either, because there's a factory defect. Oh yeah, so I'll start documenting PRS guitars here. Whenever I get a PRS guitar, I will document those flaws, design flaws and execution flaws. And I'll make a video about that. So on some PRS guitars, you cannot set up the action as low as you might want to. This is good. Because, believe it or not, on some of them, the high E saddle doesn't go down far enough. And it's a set neck. on those that I'm talking about, like it's like called the custom, whatever they call it. And you cannot lower the saddle far down enough. It's maxed down all the way, and you still have higher than ideal action on the high E string. So that definitely is not a perfect guitar. Then I've had issues with the bridge plate snapping out of alignment on those 6-point pivoting point screws. Yeah, I've had issues with that, just snapping. You know, you set up the guitar and it just kind of snaps. So that's not perfect. I've had issues with the PRS nuts. And when I say PRS, I mean PRS, not PRS SE. And what I'll do is I'll just document it. So have a look at this. So on this one, if I zoom in, you can see that we have kind of, I guess, almost even distribution from the tip all the way to the back of the nut. So what we want to do definitely is we want to cut the back end deeper. So this will increase this pressure point here, okay? That's what we want to achieve. So I'm going to put this string back now, and I am going to just tune it. Well, it doesn't need to be in tune, but like that. Focus. Okay. Let me just check the height. I didn't even touch the front, right? But I still want to check the height. Sometimes things happen. It's still a little too high. And now I want to remove the string and see what kind of impression it left. And I believe that this is better, right? Because now we see that the string wasn't pushing down at the back end, which means we kind of reduced the distribution of the pressure to a shorter line, right? And that's, in my opinion, better. So let's take off a little more material like this. Like I said, this is just a little higher than we want it to be. So we're lowering it. And we make sure that we keep the backhand shaped properly. Clean up. Put the string back. Still a little too high. Yeah, it's about 3 times the height that I want it to be. And now I'm going to start lowering the front. See, we have that witness point at the front. Now you see how much material I'm removing? Just a really small amount. Yeah. Um, Sorry, but I heard something fall here, and if I don't pick it up now, I will forget. I don't even know what fell to the floor. Something fell. I think I know what it was. It was the tip of this, because I'm missing it. Hold on. Where is it? Oh, here it is. I lost most of my audience. So, Dr. Aficionado says, guitar, quackery, YouTube, studio, and repair shop. I like that. So, you know, I told you at the beginning about that meeting I had with the influential or important person in the music industry. So if things start happening the way that I think could be happening, I will be able to reduce my workload here even more and really just be very selective about what I take here and just take interesting projects so that I would work less at the bench, but actually end up with more content for YouTube. That would be kind of cool. Now, that person has absolutely nothing to do with YouTube. But if I can put the deal together, that could be the result of it, you see? So, if you see what I mean. Which means, at that point, this physical space will really, truly just be a YouTube studio with a repair shop. So when people call, you know, we kind of talk about, like, why do you really want to bring the guitar here? You know, this is just going to be a project for YouTube. You'll still pay, obviously, for the service. I'm not doing it for free. But that's kind of why you bring the guitar here. That's the goal. Is it achievable? I mean, I think so. YouTube changed our lives and how people make money and everything, right? There's a limit that, hold on. So just doing guitar repairs will only get you up to a certain point in life or in business. So I'm looking to go beyond that, and you can't go beyond by working late hours, which I do anyway, or by working faster. You know, there's only so much you can do. So if that thing happens with that important person, I'll be definitely building guitars again, at least for a while. But it's more than guitar building. There's more, a lot more to it. Actually, the guitar building is just a small percentage of the whole thing. I would say 5 to 10%. Still too high. And that other person, now that's good. All right, look at that. Just very nice and low. Ooh, it's 20 microns in height. I can, where's my feeler gauge thing? Look at that. See, so the 20 microns is passing, barely, right? 30 microns isn't. Let me try to turn it this way. Sometimes this gives me a little trouble, but you see that's a little gap. That's exactly what we want, and I'm always happy when I hit it like that. It doesn't always happen, to be honest with you. Sometimes I get very close and I don't want to do another adjustment because I might go below. But yeah, this one, the G string is good. Yeah, not bad. Okay, let's have a look at the B string. Let's examine the string slot first. We have some space at the back end. It's actually nicely seated, and the only issue we're having, it's just a little bit higher. Yeah, oh yeah, I mean, it's quite high. I mean, quite high. It works, but, you know, what we have here is more than 20 microns, for sure. And why isn't this in focus? Now it's in focus. So, I don't know if this is a lubricant. What is that junk? Yeah, all right. So let's clean it up. Okay. So there's a person that I really want to work with, and sometimes you feel like you would make a good team, and that's that other person that I really feel that good things will come out for both ways. Some people just have like a lot to offer in terms of skills, and I don't even want to use the word talent, because I don't even know if if talent exists. I mean, let's say when you say that kids are talented, okay, a talented kid is doing the thing, right? Whether it's drawing or playing music. So that's practicing. So I think it's more like a skill. And you know, talent. When we use the word talent, I mean, I'm not opposed to the word, but it sounds more like a gift you were born with, and skill is something, you know, you work to develop. So I feel that people should get more credit for skills than for talent, as in talent gift. It's kind of like being born a rich kid or just, you know, making it happen on your own. So if someone's born rich, whatever, I'm not impressed. But if someone is, you know, just a good business person, or, you know, very, what's the word? I don't know the word now. Well, that's something that I appreciate more than just being born a certain way. My phone is silenced, so let's see if that person replied. Oh, look, 2 more phone calls. What the hell? That's probably spam. Let me see. Your address. We're searching for your shop and at your address, but it's not. I am at a wholesale. What? I don't know who's talking about what. Let me see. Some kind of deli? I don't know. I'll send them the same message. Copy and paste. That's it. Now they can reply. I didn't order a delivery from a deli. I don't know why we see this discoloration here. It's, what is this? Okay. Sorry about that. Like this discoloration, I don't know what that is. Sometimes they put fillings, so I am not going to file it any lower, just in case that's a filling. It's a different color. I pushed the wrong button on the switcher before. I only have 3 viewers left. Okay, fair enough. Not the most popular live stream. Sorry, I'm just checking my messages here. Okay, whatever. So the high E string is good the way it is. I'm not going to touch that. And like I said, I'll leave the B string the way it is, because I don't know if that's a filling. I have a feeling it might be. It's a different color. Okay. So now let's check the truss rod. I already checked it when the customer was here. But now let's adjust it. Let's see if it needs adjusting. I might have already adjusted it. Although I believe we're putting a different string gauge. I think this is 9/240. Let me check. Well, whatever. Let's see. Okay, so that's too much of a gap here. That's 11 1/1000 of an inch. What do we have on the other side? Almost wants to, yeah, it does fit through. Okay. Okay, let's remove the truss rod cover. And let's crank it up a little bit. I think I already adjusted it, but I might be wrong. Sometimes I forget. Usually when I forget, I discover that the truss rod is maxed out or something. So hopefully that's not the case with this one. I believe this is going to be a 4mm. Yeah. So release a little bit and now tighten. Okay, cool. Where's the thing? Here. I noticed that a few new people are rehearsing at the studio here. 6 1/1000s. And on this side, 6. Yeah, cool. All right. So this is good for these strings. Now let's remove the strings, then we'll polish the frets. Why don't I use the power tool? So I like to do setup adjustments, preliminary setup adjustments with the old strings on. Now, why don't I just cut the strings? 2 reasons. First, I want to make sure the tuners work. So some people ask me if it's safe to just cut the strings at full tension. And the answer is yes. So at full tension, you can just cut all the strings at once. The neck will be safe. How do we know this? Well, if you think of a guitar with a Floyd Rose system, you can do like a dive where the strings get loose like this, you know, in less than a second, and nothing happens to the neck. So that's perfectly fine. That's the same as cutting them. But I like to test the tuning machines. So I unwind the strings first. This way, if there's a problem with the tuning machines, I know right away. And the other reason why I like to do this is so that I can align the tuning machines in the ideal direction for restringing. So, 2 reasons why I do this. There's some other news that's not as exciting, but kind of. I think I found another person that will benefit from receiving a gifted guitar. So let's see if that person responds. I already left a message. Did not receive a reply yet. But it's someone who is a professional at something that will fit really well here at Guitar Quackery. All right, it's someone who works at a hospital. Okay, and someone who is more than just a nurse, let me put it this way, okay? And I think if I'm going to do a guitar giveaway with that person who is looking for a guitar, by the way, I would want it to be kind of like an exchange of you do this for me and I do this for you kind of thing. What I mean is I want content because like I said, this isn't just a repair shop. This is a YouTube studio, right? So if I do a guitar giveaway, I need to end up with content. And that person who works at a hospital, well, I can tell you, she's a radiologist. So I think there's like an opportunity to do something here with the 3D scanner and things like that. So I think I texted her or something, links to the videos that show the 3D scanner. I said, you know, just watch them. And then I said, watch the giveaway videos that are already on the channel. And if you feel like, you know, you want to appear in any of the Guitar Quackery videos and you want a guitar, you know, let's talk. That's all I said. And she made a good impression in terms of, I think she would be good on camera. That's what I mean. Just the way she presented herself. All right. So I am right now just measuring the scale length. So from the nut to the 12th fret, I can see that it's a little bit proud of 25.5. So it's more than a 25.5 inch scale length. So the way we measure this is, let me move the guitar like this, and then put this camera here, point it towards 12th fret, zoom in and focus. Okay, so this is how it's done, right? We just align it with the nut here, and then we take a reading here on the 12th fret. So you see that the 25.5 is not quite in the middle of the fret, right? So if I move it in this direction a little bit, it's like that. This would be 25.5. But then we have a little gap here, just small gap. So now the question is, can I use the fret shield, the Fender scaling fret shield, 25.5? It might align well enough. So yeah, I think that someone who works at a hospital as a radiologist, she actually just works in not with X-rays, but with she said ultrasound. Might be a good fit for the guitar quackery theme. Like I have Dr. Williams, sometimes she comes here and works with me. So this person wouldn't be coming over and over again. It would just be like a one-time thing, I think. Yeah, look at that. So I can see that it's not a perfect alignment, but it works. So now all I need to do is put the rubber bands So, when I started the YouTube channel about 3.5 years ago, I guess, I was thinking to myself, well, I want to have like a guitar channel, but there are so many guitar channels on YouTube already. So I need to do something different. Something that I mentioned a few times on the channel here is my background is actually in TV and video. And I mean serious background, not just messing with videos. So YouTube is kind of a logical thing for me to be involved in. But I no longer work in TV and video. Production. You know what? I need to point this camera here in this direction. So today, I will not be using the polishing pads, as there's no need. It just depends on the frets. Let me think. Let me polish one and see. All right. 6 or 7 viewers. Yeah. I don't know if any of you are new to the channel, but if you are new to the channel, this is Guitar Quackery Live. Is the auxiliary channel of the Guitar Quackery. Guitar Quackery is the name of the main channel on YouTube. Guitar Quackery is also this shop here in New York, Manhattan, Midtown. And here, you can, on this channel, Guitar Quackery Live, you can catch me in real time if you happen to catch a live stream in real time. Or you can watch replays. Yeah. And I hope to have something good for you in September, something that I'm planning, if it works out. Yeah, this will work. Cool. All right. So let's just continue. Also, for those of you who are new, you can follow Guitar Quackery on Instagram. Just go to Instagram, search for Guitar Quackery. That's where I started posting announcements and also news and announcements, and also announcements for the live streams, because the live streams like the one you're watching now aren't scheduled in any way. So even if you subscribe to this channel, and even if you get notified that there's a live stream happening, by the time you log on, you missed the beginning. But if you follow Guitar Quacker on Instagram, you would get a notification 10 to 20 minutes ahead of time, ahead of the live stream. So sometimes that helps to get ready. And right now I'm kind of sleepy. Again, I didn't sleep enough because I was editing a video last night, late into the night, which I uploaded on the main channel, but right now it's in pre-release format. So usually when I go to YouTube with my other account, because my other account is subscribed to Guitar Quackery, the new video would show up, whichever video I upload, as a recommended video, right? And I was hoping that the video that I just uploaded last night, that's in pre-release format, would also show up, but it doesn't. So that's weird. How would people even know that there is, sorry, a video in pre-release format on the channel? But if you go to the channel, and if you go to the, videos tab, it does show up, and it says that it's for members only. So it'll stay in pre-release format for a few days. And I'm going to start a membership thing on this channel as well. So yeah, so now we're strictly talking about the main channel, Guitar Quackery. But I'm going to start a membership thing on this channel as well. This is Guitar Quackery Live for those who wish to support it. Yeah. They look good. I need to hire someone to do this for me. This isn't rocket science. I like to remove the buffing compound after 3 or 4 frets, because otherwise, when it cools off, it hardens, and then it's not as easy to remove. Oh, they're smooth. And by the way, I already checked the frets with a fret rocker when the guitar was dropped off. I believe the owner said that the guitar has been stored for a while, and he just wants to get it back working for him. I need to buy more buffing compound. I already put the order in. Oh yeah, I forgot to put the links to the buffing stuff in the description. I need to do that as well. Ooh, I'm sleepy because I'm tired and sleep deprived. Oh. So one thing that I want to do with someone, I don't want to announce yet, but is play music. I got some musical ideas that initially were going to be part of a different duet, but sometimes people are flaky, and I couldn't count on that person, and that was years ago. And yeah, so that other person was just unreliable. I don't understand. So it's been on the back of my mind to have a creative thing going on with someone. And I think that, I found someone who has the potential. We'll see. I don't know. Haven't tried anything yet in the direction, but if it happens, you'll know. And if it doesn't, then I'll have to keep looking. Yeah, I think it's not easy to find a person to play music with, whether it's a duet or bandmates. Yeah, it's not easy, man. It was easy in high school, but after high school, things became more complicated. Even in high school, it became complicated because of personalities in my high school band. There's always something. I only had one high school band, but I did play with many people, other people in high school. We just weren't a band. Although we were performing together, but we weren't officially a band, those other people. And believe it or not, my high school band got mentioned in Rolling Stone magazine. Just mentioned. Because I helped out a Rolling Stone senior writer or something from the Rolling Stone magazine. When I was in high school, I met him on the street, and I helped him out with an article he was writing. And we kind of, hit it off, I guess. So I told him about the high school band. He never heard us play or anything. So because I helped him out with the article, he mentioned me, and then he just mentioned that, I'm still in high school and I have a band. I'm in a band. That's it. That's all that was mentioned. And, I was in high school. I was still a kid, so I thought that was the beginning of something great. Because he sent me copies of the magazine for me and my friends and families. So I thought, wow, we got written up in Rolling Stone. That's it. That's the beginning of the. Well, it wasn't. Two more frets. That's a 24 fretboard. I don't like 24 fretboards, and it's not because I have two more frets to polish. It's because of the position of the neck pickup. I'm sorry, neck pickup. I think it's better when the neck pickup is, just a little bit further in this direction, which isn't possible when you have 24 frets. I almost fell asleep again. See, I polished too many frets now. So now it's hard. It's not as easy to remove the compound from these because it cooled off. Yeah. Whatever. That's it. All right. We are getting there. 1 hour, 38 minutes, and 7 seconds into this project. Not too bad. And we are streaming. So, Dr. Dadas from Vienna, Austria. I love Vienna, and I love Beethoven. He was one of my favorite guitar players. Did you know that? Beethoven was a guitar player. I read that somewhere. Now, that's not surprising. He was musical, right? He was a composer. Composers typically play or have a good understanding of how to play various instruments. At that time, the guitar was a popular instrument in Vienna. And Beethoven was obviously a musician. Now, he was having, as we all know, hearing issues, but that didn't stop him, obviously. And I read somewhere that he did know how to play the guitar. And I think he was an amazing person. Now, the guitar that he was playing wasn't the type of guitar, I guess, that we know today. It was definitely an acoustic guitar. Got strings, maybe? I don't know. I guess, right? Yeah, that would be gut strings. He also played, in the same book where I read about the guitar, it said that he played a viola, and I think it said the double bass. Now, or maybe cello, or all of the above, violin, viola, double bass. But it specifically said viola, which is kind of like a violin, but it's tuned to a different key or pitch. Sorry about this. If I don't do this, I get migraines. But yeah, so because he was a guitar player, I like to say that he was. I'll be in Austria next month on holiday next month. And that's Dr. Buddy Davy from Scotland, right? Did I get that right? Yeah, so Beethoven was German, but he lived in Vienna most of his life, right? Amazing person. So I read a few books about Beethoven, and there were quite a few anecdotes in the book. So he really hated aristocracy, but he depended on them, right? So he had to deal with them. Maybe not on a daily basis, but on weekly basis, maybe, at least. So he had some students who were, I think it specifically mentioned daughters of some aristocrats in Vienna. So amazing, right? Beethoven was also a music teacher, you know, just to support himself. And he really hated working with students who weren't good. But he really liked working with students who were good. And the book also said, also with good-looking young ladies, students. And he wasn't a womanizer, but, you know, he liked the company of good-looking young ladies. So, why not? Who doesn't? So, yeah, and those, if memory serves me, you know, I read the book a few years ago, quite a few years ago. I think those good-looking young ladies were daughters of some aristocrats. And at the time, the rule was, and that's, again, according to the book, that you had to dress up and shave, obviously, before meeting those people. So that was actually, again, if I remember correctly from the book, the law, right? And then Beethoven ignored that rule or law. So he would just not shave, and he would kind of look disheveled. But the book said that he would bathe a lot. Okay, so I guess he wasn't smelly. So he would bathe a lot, but he wasn't always clean shave, or you know, his clothes were kind of ripped and stuff, right? So they changed the law. They said that, to meet aristocrats, you would have to be dressed in a certain way and shave and all that, except if you are Beethoven, because they wanted him around, and he just ignored all the rules, and they didn't want him to break the law, so they changed the law. They said, okay, you don't need to do that if you're Beethoven. Because he hated aristocrats, although he had a couple of friends that were helping him. Friends or supporters. But he had trouble paying rent. You know, he wasn't a rich man. Now, his student, Carl Czerny, was a music teacher in Vienna, who actually became very rich just by teaching music. So Beethoven met Carl Czerny when Czerny was 11 years old. I believe that Czerny's father was a musician in Vienna and somehow met Beethoven, and then asked Beethoven if he would give lessons to little boy Carl, who was 11 at the time. And he brought him over to Beethoven's studio apartment. Beethoven had a piano. Now, that was a piano of the era, pianoforte, right? It's not like a modern piano. And he asked Czerny to play some music for him. And that was before Beethoven started having hearing problems, I guess. So he heard him play, and he said, yeah, the kid has talent, or something like that. And then he asked him to play a sonata that Beethoven had just published. It was Sonata Pathétique in C minor. C sharp minor? No, in C minor. Yeah. And little Carl Czerny played the whole thing, and Beethoven said, okay, you are going to bring the kid for lessons tomorrow. The lessons start tomorrow. So he really wanted to work with him. And obviously they were very pleased with Beethoven's decision. I'm sorry, I think I made a mistake. I think that Czerny's father just brought Carl Czerny to meet Beethoven. They weren't asking for lessons. And then Beethoven said, I'm going to be giving him lessons. I think that's what the book said. And obviously they were delighted. And then Carl Czerny became Beethoven's student. And then eventually they became friends. And Beethoven would only allow Carl Czerny to be the person to play his sonatas publicly or something like that. I can't remember. But then Carl Czerny became a famous music teacher eventually as an adult, and they were always good friends. Beethoven really respected him, and it was a mutual respect. So, where are we? Ah, where's my glove? And when Beethoven premiered his Ninth Symphony, he had 4 standing ovations, and that was a big controversy at the time because, again, during that time, only the emperor, you could only give 3 standing ovations only to the emperor, but Beethoven got 4 standing ovations, and that was a big deal. But obviously he didn't control the crowd. The crowd just went crazy when they heard the Ninth Symphony. So the aristocrats, you know, they always they had like a, I guess, love-hate relationship with Beethoven. They really respected him, but he kind of made them look like fools many times. So I'm just cleaning this with a toxic chemical. You can see that a lot of the buffing compound came off, right? And it's still kind of coming off. And from the sides, you see, black. So we need to remove all that. And this toxic chemical evaporates. It doesn't in any way hurt the finish or the open wood grain. Because it's toxic, I use a glove, and I don't keep my nose right above the fingerboard when I use it. This is ebony, I think. Or is it rich light? No, it's ebony. Okay, we're good. Hi. We oil it. Oh no. Yeah, we oil it now. ay, ay. I don't know if everybody left. I think there's still someone here. This is a music studio for all of you who are new to this channel. The music studio is Bob Elliott's Music Makers. Bob Elliott is the owner, and I just rent this little space from Bob, or from the studio. And we have a good working relationship. I actually get a good deal here. I mean, I still pay fair and square for the space, but I'm very well aware of the fact that it's a good deal for a Manhattan commercial rent. Yeah, I like having the shop in Manhattan. It wasn't always in Manhattan. It used to be in Brooklyn. I've been in this location for 3 years, I guess. 2.5 years. And that's when this really became like a YouTube studio. So I think just when I kind of moved here, I just kind of decided to go all in with the YouTube studio setup. And I could still spend money on cameras and stuff. But yeah, you're leaving? Cool, cool. Yeah, you can turn off the air AC, no problem. I don't need it. Say what? No, don't set the alarm. I'm here, yeah. Because otherwise it would go off. Yeah. Okie dokie. Thank you. YouTube Studio. Yeah, Vienna. That was definitely where music was happening in the 19th century. Okay. I'm sorry, what? The vault? No, just keep it open. No one's here. Yeah. Thank you. The vault is the space where I store the guitars. We call it the vault because it's actually really secure. It's got a big metal door with a combination lock. So, what front door? Upstairs? Oh, this one. Yeah, definitely lock this one. Yeah. And the elevator upstairs is locked, right? Upstairs. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, cool. Thank you so much. Yeah, have a good weekend. Thank you. I'm just recharging my rotary tools here. Okay, we are going to be wrapping this up soon. We'll be putting the strings back on soon. I think I heard him come back. Let me check. No, I think he was just messing with the combination lock. The other combination lock. Okay. All right, that's that. I always check if the tuning machine bushings are tight enough. We don't want them to be too tight, but you know, because we don't want them to be too tight, so this is all good actually. Because they should never be too tight, you know, when the string is pulling the tuning post in this direction and you turn it, it can loosen the bushing. And then the bushings are loose and they need to be tightened every now and then. But these appear to be tight. Now, this is a Graphtec nut. So that's self-lubricating graphite, right? And we don't need to lubricate the nut. I am going to do I'm going to rough in the compensation for the intonation. We need a Phillips head screwdriver this size. So maybe I can put the camera here. So I show you how I do this. Zoomed in and focused. That's it. All right. So I showed you this before. I use this to measure the scale length, which we already measured. It's a little more than 25.5 inches. And now I put it against the 12th fret, but I put it against the inner edge of the 12th fret because we're already compensating. And then I am going to align this saddle. So it's it might be in a good spot, but I wanna just dial it back a little bit, and then we wanna put the B behind it, and then the G behind the B. Now, the D should go in front of the G string, but not as far as the E string. And then we just kind of keep it like this. I think this looks okay for now. Now, if we just measure this one, you can see how much it's compensated, probably too much. And we prefer that, so that when we dial in the compensation, we actually move the saddles in this direction, so that the kink on the string doesn't end up in the playable area of the string. It's going to be behind the playable area of the string, right? So that's the idea. So we just kind of rough it in. Now I'm going to string it, and I might want to raise the saddles a little bit in the middle. Yeah, why don't I do that? In fact, I need to know the size of the hex key. Okay, this is it. It says 1.3 millimeters. And is this 1.5? Let me check. No, you see this doesn't fit. All right, so it's a 1.3. I also want to know what the radius of the fingerboard is. Looking at it, it could be a 16-inch radius, but I don't know. But we need to know, because we are going to do a setup on the guitar. So I'll show you. So these are the radius gauges. Oh, by the way, we don't need this anymore. And let's see, where's the 16-inch? 17, that's 16, that's 15. Let's see. And we need one of those. I'll start with the 15-inch. Let's see. Let's place it here first against the fingerboard. Sometimes the frets don't match the fingerboard radius. Well, that's a 15-inch. Now I'll take the 16-inch and compare. And look, now we have these gaps on the side. So the longer the radius, the flatter the curve, right? So we definitely have a 15-inch radius fingerboard. Now we want to know if the frets are also the same radius. So I'm holding it this way. And you can see that we have a gap here, and we also have a gap here. So the fret is not a 15-inch radius fret. So next one is the 14-inch radius. That's probably the correct radius for the frets. And you'll see that in this case, if I place the 14-inch radius here, we will see a gap in the middle. Not really. Well, I'm sure there is a gap, but it's probably a gap that's smaller than this. This is 20 microns. No, it's not. It's 50 microns. 0.05 millimeters, okay? But we have this, and this one is 20 microns. This is much thinner. So let's take, again, the 14-inch radius gauge here. Let's see if we have a gap in the middle. It seems like we have a small gap in the middle, right? And I also have a mosquito here. Look at that. Okay, that's satisfying. So let's see. Oh, come on. I'm going to call it a 14-inch radius. It's slightly more radius than a 14-inch. But my next size that I have available is a 12-inch, which is this one, and that's not going to work, as I'm about to show you. So if I put this one here, we will see closure on the sides, but we will see a gap right here in the middle, and it's quite a big gap. So we're going to use the 14-inch radius gauge to set up the radius across the saddles. So here it is. We don't need these. So we need this, and we don't need these anymore. That's it. All right? Okay, where are the strings? They're right here. Let me just check. I think these are the strings that the customer wants. So I'm going to check the work order. And it says D'Addario EXL. Oh, no. He wants EXL 110, 10 to 46. Okay. That's what he wants. So, not the coded strings. Yeah, I'm glad I checked. EXL. Here they are. Okay, that's missing a string. Okay, here they are. Let me double check that. So these are EXL 110, and the order says D'Addario EXL 110, 10 to 46. Okay, I'm glad I checked. Let's put the strings on. These are locking tuners, by the way. So with locking tuners, I think you need to optimize how you put the strings on. And we'll talk about that. Let me make sure everything is clean. I just see a little dust. That's it. No more dust. Schecter. I usually put strings through the body in sets of 2 in pairs, just the way I'm doing now. this one isn't cooperating. Okay, now it is. Yeah. So I can't remember why he didn't want coded strings. So non-coded strings are perfectly fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with them. No, now I remember. Now I remember. He wanted a hybrid set. Yeah, now I remember. Hold on a second. So, let me see. Yeah, so he wanted 10, 13, 17 from a set of those, and then 28, 38, 49 from this set, which I bought, which means we'll need to adjust the nut a little bit for this. So I already adjusted the nut for height. I'm going to have to adjust the nut for width. So here we have these strings. That's why he didn't want coded strings, because he wanted a special set, and these gauges don't come in coded strings. So no big deal. Nothing happened. So we just removed these 3 strings on the base side. And we put 3 strings from here. Yeah. So that's how we need to do it. So we have to open 2 packs. So these are going to go back inside the box, and I need to take the 3 wound strings from here. So these 2, and this one from here, the D string from here, which is this one. That's a 28 gauge. Now the D string was cut for 28 because that's the size of the file. So these 2, the A and the E, I am going to have to touch up a little bit. And you know, if you saw the thumbnail for this video, I said I have no idea what I'm doing. But now we need to combine these together, I guess, and put them in the box. Yeah. So basically, he wanted the 3 wound strings from a set of 11s and the 3 treble strings from a set of 10s. Let's put this here. I'm going to have to adjust the invoice because the invoice says the wrong pack of strings. But I did have a note, a written note about that in the remarks in the comments section. Yeah, so you need to make sure that the string slots on the nut aren't too narrow for the thicker strings, obviously. whenever I use any kind of set of strings that's not, you know, something I keep in stock, I always need to make sure that I don't break a string in the process, obviously. Because I don't have spares for this one. All right. So let's talk about this. So the orientation of these tuning posts is like this. So they're locking tuners. I'm unlocking it so I can put this through. So that's kind of the orientation, right? This is the starting point. And now I am just going to pull it like this and put it through, making sure it doesn't get stuck. Okay. And then kind of pull it. It's kind of, it's not too loose, and now I just lock it. Now it's locked. I pull it up and we can snip it like that. Okay, now that's tuned to an E. All right? And we do the same with the rest of the strings. Now, I can't remember if he wants standard tuning. I think he said standard tuning, but I'll double check that. Let me double check. Oh, drop C tuning. Okay, well, I'm glad I checked. Non-coded strings hybrid set. You see, I'm glad I checked. Drop C. So that affects the intonation, how we set it up. It affects also the tension on the neck. Whatchamacallit, the adjustment of the truss rod, right? Drop C. So basically the guitar is tuned to D, and then you drop this string down to C. I think that's a D. Okay. And one more. Unlock it. Come on. I'm personally not a fan of locking tuners. See, you need to orient them correctly. I don't think it's quicker to restring a guitar properly. And here, snip it. Like that. Okay, let's recycle these strings right here in the bin. Okay, so we need to adjust, like I said. So this is what, 49, what is it? 49, 30, 38, and 28. Where's that package here? So the low E, which is going to be tuned to C, is 49. Then we have 38, and then we have 28. Now we already used a 28 gauge file for the D, because otherwise it would be a 26 gauge string, but the file is 28. And for the 49, we actually use a 50 gauge file. And then, because the on the treble side, the strings are from a regular set of 10s, I already use those files for that. And as you recall from the microscope images, those string slots are kind of wide anyway. They just are bottoming out at the proper gauge for the strings. So how much adjusting is going to be needed here? Not too much. But we got to do the right thing, right? So we won't be filing the bottom of the string slot. We might just kiss it with a file. We'll be... Sorry. Sometimes this hurts my ears. Okay. Yeah, we need to just make sure it's wide enough so we don't have a string that's stuck inside the string slot. That's too narrow for the string. That's it. Yeah. I mean, it looks a little tight. It's opened at the back end. See, when you tune the string just kind of moves through. And we want to... So this is just graphite from the pencil. And it's actually a lubricant, right? So we want to make sure that we hit it on the sides without really hitting the bottom too much. Yeah. This is where it's at. So here you can clearly see at the front how I'm widening the sides. Amazing. now let's check. So this should be no different from what we filed, but it's still a little high. So, you know, we hit the two sides, but there's still, you know, I didn't hit the bottom just yet. And just need to make a small adjustment. Now, we do get a little arching here on the thick string, so we just need to make sure that we don't file it too low, because the arching throws off the measurement. So let's just make sure that, you know, this isn't throwing it off. It's fine. So that's it. And let's make sure that we have a good string slot on the A string, which will be tuned to G. Hmm. 36, 38, yeah. So let's first see how this works. So as I'm opening up this string slot, I am actually kind of opening it up at the side here, only one side. I think we're good. Now we are going to make sure that we're in tune and dial in the neck relief properly, and then the radius on the across the saddles, and then the intonation compensation. Peterson strobe tuner. Drop C. Oh, G, right, G. I'm confused. The D is going to be, yeah. C. Where is it? C. The G is going to be an F. The B is going to be an A. So what's going to be a good action height for this? We're going to have to go a little higher on the bass side because it's more like baritone guitar territory now, right? Yeah, I'm just going to have to use my own judgment. And as far as the neck relief, I think we should be in 8 1/1007" territory for this one with the heavier strings like that. That's what I'm going to go for. Let's see how that works out. So we have a 4mm, whatchamacallit, yeah, truss rod nut, hex. And where do I have the 8 1/1000s? Right here, let's see. So we don't have enough relief. So I need to loosen the truss rod. 8 1/1000s. We need to loosen it a little bit. What do we have? 6. So six, 8. Yeah, so 8 goes very freely through, which means I need to tighten a little more until I feel that it's kind of tight. Still goes through, but it does feel tight. And now on this side, it feels tight, just a little more. Yeah, it still goes through tight. Okay, so I feel that now we have 8 1/1000s of relief here, but I think the string height isn't right just yet. I think we need to raise this just a little bit. And I like to use this neck rest from now on for this part of the adjustments, because I can just put the guitar down like this, and this is soft, but this is obviously hard. Oh, maybe we have good height. Let me see. It did add some relief. 85 1/1007". I think that's good. I think I want a little more relief. So maybe we're around 9/1000ths now. Let me see something here. So I am moving this action gauge to kind of make sure that the relief, that the action is evenly going lower the closer I am to the nut, right? I'm going to adjust it slightly higher. I want it at 90 for this kind of bass string, baritone, whatever. Yeah. Now I want to hear it through the amp. I still have an audience. Look at that. Yeah. How much would a service like this cost? Good question. More than $200. I don't really quote prices on YouTube. I know that he was asking me if we should put a 52 gauge string there. I believe that he was asking me about that. So that's a 25.5-inch scale length. I think the 49 should work just fine. But to answer the question, I think we will get more punch out of a 52. And now I want to set up the high E string action. Let's see, we are at 65. Let's go down a little bit to about 62. Just went a little too low. Just a little bit. Yeah. Okay, that should be good. And like I said, we're matching it to a 14-inch radius. So this is tuned to D. So I want to make sure I can bend. That's a 14-inch radius. This is not going to be fretting out on bends. You know what? Let me go down to 60. It was at 60 before, then I raised it. Just a little more. Yeah, that's fine. That's 60. And let's check the intonation right away. So it's a little sharp. I need to retune the string. We're good on this one. And on the C, oh, we're sharp. So yeah, I was trying to avoid this, right? To put a kink on the string in the playable area, but that's how it worked out. Oh, C. Still sharp. Look at that. We're good. So yeah, it's because I did raise the string a little more. That's why the compensation is a little more than I estimated it. It's fine. So now let's check the radius. So we have the 14-inch radius like this. So we want to make sure that the 2E strings are touching the radius gauge. That's not the case. So I need to raise these a little bit. Touching. Okay, so now let's lower the A string, which is going to be tuned to G. Okay, it just started hitting the radius gauge. Okay, that's it. D. So I don't know how much you can hear, but I hear when it starts to hit the tool. And now I want to make sure that the saddles are parallel, and this one isn't. So I lower one side as much as I raise the other one. Same with this. I gotta just even them out a little bit, and then I'll double check the radius. Even this one just needs a little bit of tweak. This is going to be obviously completely out of tune. So we always want to adjust the intonation in playing position. So I'm gonna do the D string, which is tuned to C. So the action got a little higher here now. I need to lower it. And then obviously I match the radius to that. I don't want it to be as high as what I'm seeing here. Just a little lower. So I'm looking at the saddle. Make sure it's parallel to the bridge plate as I'm lowering that saddle. Check the intonation. And now we readjust our relief. Not relief, radius. Come on, it's not hitting the... Why is it not fitting? Oh, now it is. Good. Just eyeballing a little bit that the saddles are parallel. So let's say if I make a, I don't know, 3-degree turn clockwise on this saddle, on this side of the saddle, I want to make a 3-degree turn counterclockwise on the other one, just to equalize it. But then I double check. So the B is too high. And I think this, the B is still too high. There you go. Okay. We're almost done. The first thing I want to really do is kind of like check how it plays. I think I like that. And now we are going to check the compensation for intonation adjustment. But this pickup is a little too low. Let's raise it a little bit. I can see that it's too low. Just eyeballing it for now. Okay, so the D string, which is tuned to C, perfect. This, which is tuned to G, also perfect. Look at that. F, which is the G string, F tuning. Also perfect. Look at that. And remember, I just eyeballed it. Now this one's a little sharp. So we pull it back a little bit. Retune. I don't know how to play in drop C. The customer will obviously test it. If we need to do any kind of minor adjustments, we will do that. Pickups. don't know how to play in drop C. I'm good with the pickups. All right. Let me just double check that relief just to make sure it didn't change as the guitar settles. So, you know, when you put heavy books on a bookshelf, the bookshelf settles, and then maybe in a day or two, it settles even more, right? So same thing when you put strings on the neck. You know, you make the adjustments now, but is this gonna be the same later? I don't know. I am going to let this guitar sit for a day and double check everything. But right now I want to double check our relief here. So yeah, I think it's the way that we left it. So the 11 1,000ths doesn't go through. So I have an 8 1,000ths and an 11 1,000ths. And the 8 1,000ths goes through kind of easily, not as snugly as it was before I released it a little bit, but the 11 doesn't. So it's probably 9 1,000ths, which is what I want. And it's probably 8 1,000ths on this side. I think we have a little bit of a differential relief, which is great because it's in a favorable direction. And I am just going to reinstall the truss rod cover. And we're done for now. I was using the Peterson strobe tuner for this. It's really, really precise. I know that some people are going to have hang-ups about this, but the truth is it measures the frequency right there. That's it. Sometimes I go through the audio interface and I use the GarageBand tuner. You get the exact same results. All right. Yeah. So that's it, kids. It's bedtime. This is the Schecter. We don't have scratchy pots, so no need to do anything about that. Schecter. And so the Sure Thing Express says precision of the heart surgeon or a master mechanic, or maybe a watchmaker. How about that? How much is he or she per hour? With a free video lesson, I think a plec is over $400 in my neighborhood. Oh, really? Doctor, can you speak briefly about pickup height? I just do it by ear. I don't spend a lot of time on that. So I set it to be when I eyeball it. So when I put the guitar like this and I fret down here, I'm starting at 1/8 of an inch, okay, on both pickups. Now the pickup height changes depending on where you play, right? Now the pickup height is different, now it's different, and now it's different. That's just the way it is. So we want the volume to be kind of, I go like this. you know, the same across. So I balance out the treble and bass side, and then I kind of am balancing out this to B. But, you know, it really depends where you play it. The pickup height changes. And I go by ear. I don't spend too much time. No one is going to be cork sniffing the pickup height. It just can't be like obviously wrong that, let's say, the neck pickup is so much louder than the bridge pickup. Yeah, you can't have that. Now, at one point I was watching, I think you know Dylan Tuckstone. He's got a channel, and he was saying something about, why don't you use the some kind of audio interface and look at the levels and adjust, you know, according to what you see, because your ears might be playing a trick on you. And I thought, oh, that's a great idea, right? But then I was thinking, well, no, because at the end, the ears are going to be hearing it. So I'm using my ears, and I don't spend too much time on it. Is there a name for the toxic fluid you used after buffing the frets? There is. Now, the reason why I don't say what it is, but I'll give you a hint, is because anyone can watch YouTube videos. Now, imagine if some kids or minors watch this and they use the toxic fluid based on what I said. Well, I'm then responsible if they end up causing any harm to themselves or to, you know, anyone else. It's also flammable, but it is the toxic fluid that every guitar repair shop uses. Okay, so, and others just name the fluid. I just don't name it because I want to make sure that kids don't, you know, do something. That's why. Because it is readily available, and they can just buy it. So interestingly, kids or minors can't buy spray cans at the Home Depot, but they can buy this toxic fluid without an ID. So those are the rules. So if you go on YouTube, actually you are on YouTube, if you just look at some other guitar repair channels, they will tell you what the toxic fluid is. It isn't coconut water. Yeah. Okay, friends. This took 3 hours, 9 minutes, and 49 seconds. A little longer. You know, it always takes a little longer when I do a live stream, to be honest. I just saw a mosquito. Ah, I got him. All right. Let's have a look. Look, this is it, the mosquito. And now I'm going to push the button. Oh, we don't see sparks. Sometimes we need to realign the mosquito. And then push the button. There you go. Okay, so it just, you know, came over for a little snack. Thanks for that. Yeah, you're welcome. And I'm sure you understand what I mean, right? because we really don't know who's watching. And kids can watch this. And I'm talking about young kids can watch this, and then they just go and buy this, and it's toxic, right? It's so I read online, no amount of it is good. Okay, that's how toxic it is. So it's kind of like asbestos. There is no amount of asbestos that's good or that's not toxic. Same thing with this, right? So you shouldn't put it on your skin. You shouldn't inhale it, and it's flammable. Okay, my friends, I am going to wrap this up, and I guess I'll see you next time. Oh, how many subscribers do I have so far? Let me see. Oh, I can't. All right, let me see. Because I need 500 to monetize this channel. So I'm on the wrong channel here. Let's see. 473. I need more. Tell your friends, please. Or go online and post. Hold on. Yeah, so you can tell your friends on guitar forums about this. And this way, when I have 500 subscribers, the replays of these videos, oh no, I need 1,000 for that, for the replays to collect ad money. But with 500, I can do other things to monetize it. What is it that I can do? I can do memberships and stickers and things like that, right? Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, and the super thanks is going to be available, like a button. Now there's only a buy me a coffee. Okay, because I can have that before I'm monetized officially. So that's it, and I am going to wrap this up. I have this Gibson Les Paul. I'm not going to do a live stream about that, and I am probably not going to do any more live streaming today. Now, next week, I am going to be in Chicago. And then I am going to be back here on Saturday, a week from now. All right? So keep that in mind. So no live streaming next week, during the week. Next opportunity will be a week from today. Bye-bye.